Let's talk quick college football. No one really looked awesome. There were definitely some plays out there that made you go, wow, from some of the top tier quarterbacks. I'll go right back, just kind of go through the list. No particular order from like early games to late games. CJ Stroud, again, not exciting. Just not exciting of a player. It's unfair because you knock him that man when he has it's a monster game. It's because he got guys like Marvin Harrison Jr. on his squad. But then when he doesn't have a monster game, you're like, why didn't you have a monster game? You got Marvin Harrison Jr. on your team and all these other guys on your squad. Why aren't you having a monster game? So it's unfortunate. Like when he has a not easy peasy game against a team like Northwestern, but he's just not exciting to watch, honestly. And maybe he's a guy who needs that clean pocket and. You know, if he wins games, great. And in the end of the day, they won. They beat Northwestern. But Ohio State should beat Northwestern. Doesn't matter who's the quarterback. But at least Justin Fields is exciting. You know what I mean? Like, when he's in the bowl games, he's putting his literal body in the way and on the line. You root for this guy. But when you watch CJ Stroud, you're just kind of like, all right, kind of like a machine. He's just kind of like a machine. Just like he's an artificial intelligence guy just throwing darts. And you just... Yay! You're cheering for the jersey. You're not really cheering for the guy, if that makes any sense. But yeah, he doesn't really jack me up, really. Will Levis. Right now, according to Tankathon, the Lions are picking him, I think, third or fourth in the draft. He, to me, seems like a Detroit Lions football player. He's from Connecticut, cold weather state. I think he's a smash mouth kind of guy. He looks like a Detroit Lion quarterback to me. He was okay. He's okay. Like he got exposed deeply against Tennessee. Talk about them a little bit later. But as I said, when I first did my first recap of these quarterback prospects, I just don't trust him. I don't know what it is. Maybe because he looks like he's straight out of central casting for a quarterback, you know, in an early 2000s movie like Varsity Blues. I just don't trust him. I don't know if he's got the mental capacity to withstand tough environments like playing at Tennessee. Just crumbling and throwing pick after pick after pick. It just doesn't sit well with me. Anthony freaking Richardson. I know people might comment saying he's trash, but man, I don't know if it's a system thing because there are people out there, including Will Levis himself, who was comparing his game and his development to Josh Allen. Man, if there's anybody who's like Josh Allen, it's Anthony Richardson. Like freak size, freak ability, freak arm, freak speed. Not necessarily on a good team. Kind of different. He's in the SEC. He's playing for Florida. He's not playing for North Dakota State. Or not Wyoming. Sorry, Wyoming. Don't want to mix that up. But so he should have more talent around him and then thus be better in using those skills. I don't know too much about the coaching situation in Florida, but he's definitely underperforming to what he should do with where the program he's at and the traits that he does have. Maybe he's not getting the proper coaching. I'm not sure. But there's no denying that the speed this guy has, the threat he had a 60-yard run against Texas A&M. He throws beautiful like darts, and then he can throw lofty passes. Like he's got all the tools galore, and it's all in a 6'4", 232-pound package. And Carolina Panther fans are just still looking for the guy to fit the mold of Cam Newton, and he does that. He's 2 inches shorter, but he does it. He plays like him a little bit. And, like, if you can find him, and I think no marriage would be better than him and Ken Dorsey together. You could still, if the Panthers are picking second overall, you can get that Will Anderson guy to put on the bookend, the defensive line, him and Brian Burns, and then somehow trade up, depending on how the scouting situation goes. If he does want to enter the draft, you trade up and you get him late first round. I think that and Ken Dorsey, that can make it happen. I honestly do. Out of all the quarterbacks, minus what Bryce Young does with his legs, Anthony Richardson does some things that makes you just go like, whoa. Like the ball just explodes out of his hand. When he runs, he outruns people, but it doesn't even look like he's running at full speed. It doesn't make any sense. So Anthony Richardson, he's a project for mine that I would love to keep an eye on throughout the season. If we can get some scouts on the air, talk to them about how they feel about him, how he feels that how his traits could translate to the NFL. Because like Josh Allen, he wasn't the MVP candidate right out of the gate. Remember, in one of the playoff games, I think it was against the Houston Texans, dude had a jump pass almost like a Hail Mary to a fullback. Like, it was ridiculous. Hendon Hooker had a rough game. His age is starting to show up a little bit on the Twitter sphere that he's 26, turning 26 years old. And by the time you're looking to sign him, he'll be in his 30s. Like, re-sign him after his rookie contract, he'll be 30. Um, Bryce Young lost, unfortunately, against LSU. Um, and the same thing, kind of same thing as CJ Stroud. When he's not balling out, you're like, what the hell, you're at Alabama? How are you not balling out? When he is balling out, well, you're at Alabama. What are you going to do? Of course you're going to ball out. But he does amazing things with his feet in the pocket. He laid a couple hits. He is not afraid to run. So I don't know if he's built. I haven't put my hands on him, but I don't know if he's built like Lamar Jackson, like he's like twisted metal or something like that. But doesn't look it. As I said before, there's not one vein popping out of his arms in any of these photos. But the way he moves in the pocket is dope. And I think he throws a really pretty pass. He's not going to out physical you, but maybe he's going to outsmart you type situation. I'd like to learn more about him, but really, and when you're just looking at this week as a total, Anthony Richardson in terms of excitement, hell yeah for me. And then Bryce Young, who's kind of a mix of all those things. And then I'd say CJ Stroud because he still gets the job done, just not very exciting. And then you got Hendon Hooker because he can still sling it. And then you got Will Levis because I don't trust that guy. Let me know how you feel about all this. See you guys midweek.